What is the best way to crop images in Photoshop? In this video, we're going to learn how to use the crop tool in depth and how to crop images in Photoshop using the crop tool. There is no thing called the best way in Photoshop because everybody has their own way of doing anything in this amazing software. For you to know that this video is a part of a Photoshop course that I'm making, I'll put the link of this course right up there in the iCard that you have to go and check it out. It's a great Photoshop course that you guys have to follow, and this is the 7th video of the Photoshop course. So make sure you check all the videos that I've done. So in this video, we're gonna learn how to use the crop tool in depth and how to crop images in Photoshop using the crop tool. So if you came here to learn how to do that, then stick to the end of the video because there is a great design tip that I want to tell you guys about, and you're gonna also master this amazing crop tool. So let's start. Okay, so here we are on Photoshop. To go to the crop tool, press C on your keyboard to go to the crop tool. Okay, now you have the crop tool. Once you are on the crop tool, you will see this bounding rectangle, which you actually can edit and change the areas of your crop and move around. If you go put your mouse in the middle, you can move around. If you actually pick any part of this rectangle, you can make it bigger or smaller, and you can double click once you have finished choosing the area of the image that you want to crop, like that, and it will be saved. Okay, if you want to edit back the areas of the crop, if you want to edit the crop and maybe add some parts here on the right or on the top, all you have to do is to double click. Okay, but we have did the double click, but we didn't see anything. That's because we have delete cropped areas option checked. What this option does, it actually deletes all the areas that you have cropped forever. So how to fix that? We can simply go back here, pick any other tool, and Control Z on your keyboard to get back to your certain image, and you can simply check. You can get delete crop pixels off like this, and simply choose any areas of your image that you want to crop, and simply go double click on it or press the check button up there to apply the crop. So now what you can see is, if you click on the image back, you can see that you can go and start editing and adding parts of the crop of the image that you want to add to your certain crop, and you can actually edit the main crop of your photo, as you guys can see. In case you want to maintain a certain aspect ratio for your photo or your cropped areas, you simply can go up here and click. You can start to see all the kinds of aspect ratios that you can use. So I will use the 1:1 aspect ratio, which is the square aspect ratio. Okay, once you click on it, you will see this rectangle, which also you can decrease the size without losing the aspect ratio, as you guys can see. Okay, simply go, same thing, double click, and it is cropped. Click back to the crop, and you can also change the aspect ratio of the photo that you want. Let's say I want to have this 5:7 aspect ratio, which is a portrait aspect ratio, which is having the photo just a little bit looking like it is vertical. You can also do the same thing, increase, decrease without losing the aspect ratio, or you can actually toggle between portrait, which is this how this one is looking like, and landscape, which is having it looking a little bit like it is kind of horizontal. Okay, so that's it for the aspect ratio. Okay, so let's go try something else on here. Once you go here, let's go back to W&H resolution, which is the default one that we can increase and decrease parts of the cropped areas as we want. What you can see now is there is something called the rule of thirds, which is these stuff, as you guys can see, these rectangles, as you guys can see here. We have 3 on the top, 3 on the right. These are the rectangles that I'm talking about. these rectangles are standing for something called the rule of thirds. What the rule of thirds says that the most interesting part of your image should be aligned to the lines of the rule of thirds to make it look better, or not better, but you know, it's personal preference for everybody, but it is a rule that you can use to make your images on a certain style. Okay. Also, the most interesting part of the photo, which is this man, can be aligned, as you guys can see, like this, aligned to the right or to the left. I mean, what I mean by the right or the left is we are having this man aligned to the left vertical line that you guys can see, or it actually can move like this to be aligned to the right vertical line, as you guys can see. So that's what I'm talking about. So if you don't like the rule of thirds and you want to use another overlay, you can simply go right up here and change the overlay to what you want. You can also press O on your keyboard to toggle between all the kinds of the overlays in your crop tool. Okay. Another thing we can talk about is the straighten tool, the straighten option in the crop tool, which helps you to straighten images. I know this image is actually the camera is already straight, and this is how the scene looks like, but for tutorial purposes I just picked a ground that is kind of having a slope just to test the straighten option for you guys and to help you straighten parts of your images that you want to fix. This is the ground that I want to straighten. For example, I want to straighten this part of the image. As you guys can see, it is straight now. These people are actually not climbing the mountain, they're just moving on it, as you guys can see. So this is how it looks after straightening the image. I want to also talk about something here, note something. Whenever you use the straighten tool, it will actually straighten the image by rotating and fixing all the parts of their image. You're not going to see any transparent areas or any, you know, corrupted anything in the photo after you accept the straight option into a photo like that. We can also increase and decrease parts of the photo using the crop tool, which is simply by dragging upwards. Let's undo this straight that we have done. Okay. Now you can actually increase parts of the image like that, and you can actually increase the size of the canvas, as you guys can see, by the crop tool. Okay, but there is a better way of doing so. I will just cover it after saying something I want to say here. If you have delete crop pixels off, as you guys can see, it will make the background areas that we have increased, it will make it transparent. As you guys can see, there's nothing in here. And this is Photoshop way of showing transparency, which is by showing these white and gray pixels or blocks, as you guys can see. Okay, so if you check delete crop pixels, as you guys can see, it will have the background color that you have on the left side on your toolbar. If I change the background color to red, for example, it will have the same color that I have on my background here. Okay, so let's undo that. I want to increase this by using a better way, which is by going up there to image and canvas size. And as you guys can see, this is how to do it. Okay, now we can go to pixel, and as you guys can see, we can check relative, add 100 to the top, to the width, 100 to the height. What will this do? It will actually help you to increase pixels on each part of the width. We have this side of the width and we have this side of the width. We have two sides of the width, and it will actually put what does relative do? It will make it 50 for the width on each side, which means that it will increase 50 pixels on the right and 50 pixels on the left for the width only, and the same thing for the height. Okay, as you guys can see, the anchor is on the middle, which will actually make the increment to all the areas around the image. If you go and press OK, as you guys can see, you will have this white border shown on here, as you guys can see. So let's try again, but this time we'll change something. We'll make something else. We'll go to image, canvas size, and this time we'll make the anchor on the top here. What will this do? It will actually make the increment around this circle here. So we have the anchor on the middle, and the image increment will go around it, as you guys can see, and we will not have any increment on the top. Okay, if I go and add 100 pixels to the width and 100 pixels to the height, let's do this. 100 to the width, 100 to the height, and we will do okay. As you guys can see, it actually did some increments around the areas that we have set from left, bottom, and the right, as you guys can see. So this is a good way of doing so and adding certain and increasing the canvas size in your image. If you have any other ways, please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, another thing we can do is using the perspective crop tool. What the perspective crop tool does, it is actually cropping certain parts of your image by deleting its position distortion. Okay, so as you guys can see, it has a position, it is actually distorted, and somehow in this image that it looks kind of, you know, looking to the left a little bit. But if we use the perspective tool, the perspective crop tool, which is simply by clicking and choosing the parts of the image that we want to change, as you can see, it actually creates a plane that we will, you know, that will define the areas of the image that you want to crop. And simply after you crop, it will show up like this. It will make it perfectly straightened as you're looking at it from the front. Why? What is the use of this tool? Most people actually use this tool to make textures and save images of save, you know, some kind of textures from some photos and make textures and use them for 3D materials and stuff like that. So that's one of the good ways to use, and the good reason is actually to use the crop tool. Okay, and let's move on to the great design tip that I promised you that we will talk about in the end of the video. Okay, as you guys can see here, this is the final one. But what is that? What have I done here? I'll tell you. The design tip is no naked photos. What I mean by naked photos is this. Let me show you. Let's make a new one, and let's add the color of the background like that, and let's take these photos and move them right into here. I want this one as well. Let me see. Take this one, put it right here. Okay, what I mean by naked photos is having the photos like that, not ordered, looking, you know, looking like this, looking like shit. Everyone having an order and on top of each other, and you can just say anything here like that. It's not looking that good. It looks bad. It looks shit, to be honest. So you can actually compare between this and that. Okay, what have I done here is I've used the grids. Once I press Ctrl H, you will see something, you know, crazy. These are the grids that I use to order all these photos, as you guys can see. So all of them are in order. Ctrl H is the way of hiding and showing the grid lines. To create a grid line, you can simply go here. Let's do this. You must have the ruler on. You can get it on using Ctrl and R on your keyboard, and simply start dragging from the left side to the right side, and you will make a guideline. Let's define these areas are the areas that we want to start, and this, which I want to choose this layer. Simply go right click on it, layer 1, it will automatically select it, and you simply just start adding and putting your images to the right order of your guidelines and reach this result. So this is the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I've done a huge amount of effort in this course, and what I'm looking for is just you know, something. I'm not looking for anything back. I'm just giving this for free for you guys. I love to help people. I love to help everybody be the designer they want. So please, you know, at least give me something back. A little subscribe, that little like actually helps me a lot, and it, you know, it means a lot for me. If you know, just comment below, say thanks, say anything like that, it really, you know, it really makes a difference for me. It really makes my day. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next videos. And before we leave, if you haven't watched any of the other course videos, make sure to check them on the iCard up there. You will find them and you will actually learn a lot from them. So see you in the next video.